Hi and welcome back, guys. Hope you all are having a great day out there. It is now game time for XRP holders as we are seeing a complete shift in the system and narrative here today itself. I want to talk to you about what that means for the price of XRP, guys. Click that like button if you do like talking about XRP. It definitely helps get our voice out about XRP when you click the like button. And then also, if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. It is absolutely free as well. Now, what have we seen here recently from gold? Over and over all-time highs. In fact, recently 3,500 as investors flock to safe haven assets, precious metals like gold, considering these safe haven assets away from turbulent stocks. We've seen a lot of volatility in stocks and crypto as well, but CNBC here today states, and I'm going to play you a 1.5 minute clip in just a moment, they state Bitcoin retakes 90K as investors see it as an alternative to diving dollar in turbulent stocks. Now, before I play this, guys, as a community, we've been talking about this for years. In time, you'll see a decoupling effect because cryptocurrencies, utility-based, use-based cryptocurrencies, they don't need an earnings report. We're not reliant on that. You've got XRP over here and Ripple, two complete separate entities. And what you have with utility-based cryptocurrencies, we're talking about XRP, XDC, HBAR, XLM, ICP, Quant, Algorand, Chainlink, all these cryptocurrencies will not rely on the business going forward. Now, does it help to have Ripple day after day promoting the technology? Of course. But what we are starting to see is a shift in demand coming to this market as investors are seeing this market for what it was always intended to be. I want to play you this clip and then get into some other bullish takes that we've got for you here today.
Welcome back. Not a lot of green on the screen today, as you know. However, you probably didn't look at Bitcoin. Tanae McKeel did, and she's here. It's up 3%. What do you make of the way that this has been trading? It's decoupled, obviously, from the NASDAQ, which was a trend for a while. How do you see it?
Something that people were looking for all month, because if you go back to earlier this month, it really was trading in line with stocks. It just was not seeing the big, pops and drops that one we're used to seeing out of Bitcoin, and two, it is outperforming the S&P. It has not really caught up with gold, the leading safe haven, but I think you are seeing evidence, not just. I think that the obvious and easy narrative would be that we're talking about Fed independence today, so Bitcoin is kind of acting as that hedge against, political uncertainty. But I also think that it's not just enthusiasm; it's also exhaustion. You're seeing people, investors, wanting to, get back into risk, but just maybe not the type of risk that's tied to earnings or Fed policy.
You got a quick thought?
I do. Look, you've got a president who's very interested, and his family's very interested in Bitcoin doing well, and crypto doing well, and I think you're close to regulation or some positive announcements on policy, and that's what's driving it.
It's evidence, Bitcoin's supportive nature is evidence that we have not had a deleveraging event. Because you have a deleveraging event, everything's going down.
Well, it has underperformed the S&P and NASDAQ overall since the peak. Recently, though, to your point, it is trading pretty well, up from 82 just a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Real quick, last thought?
I think one of the hardest things for investors is to wrap their heads around the fact that day to day it does trade like a risk asset, but medium long term it trades like a safe haven. If you look at gold's outperformance, that kind of can act as an indicator of where Bitcoin heads when the dust comes.
And so as we see this shift and the tone change, the narrative change, what do we have? Paul Atkins now confirmed, guys. Confirmed and officially sworn in as Paul Atkins, SEC chairman, which gone are the days of the war on cryptocurrency. And this is not a nothing burger. Anyone that's been in cryptocurrency, I'm going to say at least 6 months to a year, knows how big of a deal is this. We had a complete roadblock with Gary Gensler. Those days are gone. Now we have Paul Atkins in, which of course means the Ripple and SEC case is finally that much closer to being over, but we can actually prosper. What is happening with the system itself? We're seeing a complete shift. In fact, Coinbase comes out and confirms it's considering, it came out here today, applying for a U.S. federal bank charter, a move that could let it offer traditional TradFi banking services like deposits and loans. They are becoming a full-blown bank. And yes, the banks are nervous out there, especially for companies like Ripple. They want to work with Ripple because what do they know Ripple has? Ripple has 50 money transmitter licenses across the US, among the most out there. Quote, these licenses allow Ripple to legally offer cross-border payment services using XRP and RLUSD stablecoin to facilitate expanded access to US financial institutions. And so what am I getting at here? Well, if these banks don't adopt cryptocurrencies, and we've already heard from the big CEOs stating they will, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley have already said they're going in on it, then they'll get left behind. We've got clearing services to drive immediate XRP utility. This article came out here today talking about how Hidden Road, if, and it will happen, 10% of their volume comes on chain with the XRPL, what that will do for the utility of XRP, what that will do for the price of XRP is going to make it absolutely soar. And so why would these banks want to be on the sidelines? They don't. This shift we're seeing hasn't just begun today, but we're seeing it actually happen like we've never seen it in history, where we're seeing a decoupling effect. We're seeing the narrative change. We're seeing regulators positive on cryptocurrency. And right now, what Ripple's been building for over a decade right now, fully coming to fruition. So what does that mean for XRP? Well, numbers don't lie. When this type of volume, we're talking trillions, comes on chain, you're going to quickly see XRP bounce and bounce upwards unlike we've ever seen it in the past. And you can take a look at the chart, what happened in 2017, just based off a speculative run, many millionaires made. What happened in 2021, what recently happened as early as November with a 4 to 5x, those types of gains are absolutely nothing when we take a look at what's going to happen with the utility and actual volume coming on chain. The banks are in, the system is completely shifting, and now the narrative has changed completely as well. Those are my thoughts, my opinions. Let me know yours. Comment section below. As always, I appreciate your time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on those notification bells. We'll see you all in the next one.